The battlefield was broken. Smoke rose from the ground like black rivers climbing into the sky. The air was filled with the smell of fire, metal, and blood. Broken ships burned in the distance, their twisted frames glowing like dying stars. The clash between humans and aliens had ended, but silence did not bring peace. It only carried the heavy weight of loss. Among the ruins moved a single human soldier. His armor was scratched, his weapon low on power, his steps heavy. He had lost, his squad in the chaos. He had fought, survived, and now walked alone through the wreckage of war. His name was not shouted in victory. His name was unknown here, only another face in the endless fight between two worlds. Then he heard it. It was not the echo of weapons or the roar of engines. It was softer, fragile, a sound that did not belong to this place. A cry. The soldier froze. His training told him to ignore it. His mind told him it was a trick. But his heart, that strange human heart, pulled him toward the sound. Step by step, he moved across the broken ground, past shattered walls and burned trees, until he found the source. There, hidden under a piece of wreckage, was a child. The skin of the child was pale blue, the eyes wide and glowing like small stars. Small ears pointed out from messy hair. It was not human. It was alien. One of the enemy. The very enemy who had killed his friends. The very enemy who wanted humans gone from the galaxy. The soldier stood still. The child looked up at him, afraid, clutching its small hands to its chest. The battlefield was no place for mercy, no place for kindness. And yet, as the soldier looked into those shining eyes, he did not see an enemy. He saw fear. He saw life. The ground shook. In the distance came the sound of marching. The alien warriors were returning. The soldier knew what they would do if they found him standing here. They would kill him without question. And if they saw the child in human hands, they would show no mercy to either of them. For one long moment, the soldier hesitated. He could leave. He could save his own life. But something inside him refused. When the first blasts of enemy fire cut through the air, he moved. He threw himself over the child, wrapping his own body like a shield. Explosions struck nearby, sending dirt and flames into the sky. Sharp fragments of metal tore past his armor. He gritted his teeth but did not move. His arms stayed locked around the small figure trembling beneath him. The child gasped. Its wide eyes stared at the human's face, confused, amazed, unable to understand, the soldier whispered, almost to himself. Stay down. Do not move. I will not let them harm you. He did not know why he said it. He only knew that it was true. The alien warriors arrived. Their tall shapes emerged from the smoke, armor glowing under the green light of the forest. They raised their weapons at once, ready to strike. But then they saw it. A human soldier lying across the ground, his arms around one of their young. His armor burned, his back bleeding, yet his body stayed between the child and danger. The warriors hesitated. None of them had seen this before. None of them had imagined an enemy showing such madness or such courage. The child reached up with small fingers, touching the human's chest. The gesture was simple, but it froze the soldiers in place. For in that touch was trust. The leader of the alien squad lowered his weapon. His voice, sharp and heavy, echoed through the air. Hold! Do not fire! The others obeyed. The battlefield grew quiet again, the smoke curling slowly upward. The soldier lifted his head. His eyes met the gaze of the alien warriors. He knew they could kill him in a single breath. He knew his choice might cost him his life. But he did not move away. He did not surrender the child. And then the ground trembled once more. From the shadows of the forest, a figure appeared. She was taller than the rest, her armor marked with the colors of command. Her long hair moved like fire, and her eyes burned brighter than the stars. She carried herself with power, with rage, and with fear. She was the child's mother. The alien warriors stepped aside as she approached. Her gaze locked on the human, then fell on the small figure he protected. For an instant, her breath caught. She had expected death. She had expected horror. Instead, she saw the impossible. Her child, alive, held in the arms of an enemy who had chosen to shield instead of strike. The forest held its breath. The human soldier, battered and broken, met the eyes of the alien mother. Neither spoke. Neither moved. Between them stood a truth stronger than the war itself. The war was not over. The galaxy was not at peace. But here, on this broken ground, something had changed, and in that moment, the story began. The forest was heavy with silence. The smoke curled between the trees, carrying the bitter taste of war. The human soldier did not move. His body was still wrapped around the alien child, his armor blackened and broken. His breaths came slow and hard, but his arms stayed firm. The alien warriors stood around him, weapons tight in their hands, waiting for the command. None dared step forward. None dared break the strange moment that had formed between enemy and child. Then she stepped into the light. The alien mother, commander of her warriors. Her presence alone made the soldiers lower their heads. Her long hair, the color of burning fire, flowed down her back. Her skin was the same blue as her child, but her eyes glowed with sharp gold light, a gaze that could cut through armor. She was strength and fury bound together. She looked down at the scene before her, the enemy soldier, battered but alive. The child, her child, safe beneath his arms. For a heartbeat, her body froze. Every instinct screamed at her to strike, to tear this human apart for daring to touch her blood. But then her child looked at her, not with fear, but with trust. The small fingers clung to the human's armor, as if the soldier was not an enemy, but a protector. The mother's breath came sharp. Her warriors shifted uneasily, waiting for her order. One word from her could end this. One command could burn the soldier where he lay. But no word came. Instead, she stepped closer. Her eyes stayed locked on the soldier, searching for his reason, his weakness, his lie. She wanted to see cruelty. She wanted to see mockery. But she found something else. His gaze did not hold fear, and it did not hold hate. It held only the strange human fire, that stubborn will to protect, even against all logic. The soldier did not speak. His lips were dry, his voice silent, but his body said everything. He had chosen to shield her child, and he did not regret it. The mother knelt, her shadow falling across both of them. She placed her hand on the child's shoulder, and for a moment the child clung tighter to the soldier. The sight struck her deeper than any blade. Her own blood, seeking safety in the arms of an enemy. Her jaw tightened. Her pride screamed at her to take the child away and kill the man. But another voice whispered, quiet, dangerous, asking why. Why had he done this? Why had he chosen to bleed for her child instead of leaving it to die? Stand, she commanded at last, her voice sharp as steel. The human did not rise. His arms loosened only enough to let the child breathe, but his body stayed firm, as if daring her to strike. Her eyes narrowed. Stand, human! Slowly, painfully, the soldier pushed himself up. His knees shook. Blood stained his side, but he lifted the child in his arms and stood. His figure was broken, yet unyielding. The alien warriors raised their weapons again, waiting for her command. But the mother raised her hand. No! Her voice cut through the smoke. Do not fire! Confusion rippled through the soldiers. They looked at one another, but obeyed. The mother stepped closer. She stood face to face with the human now. Her gaze was cold, but behind it burned questions even she did not understand. "Why?" she asked softly, her voice trembling under her control. "Why protect what is not yours? Why shield the blood of your enemy?" The soldier's lips parted. His voice was rough, broken from dust and pain, yet his answer was simple. "Because it is a child." Those words fell heavy in the air. The warriors shifted. The forest itself seemed to pause. The mother's hand trembled. Rage tried to rise, but something else pressed it down. She saw no trick in his eyes, no hidden blade, only truth. For the first time in her long command, she did not know what to do. She could not let him go. She could not kill him. Not here, not now. The image of her child clinging to him burned inside her mind. Her pride warred with her heart. Her command warred with her blood. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was cold again, strong again, the voice of a commander. "Take him!" The alien warriors obeyed at once. They stepped forward, surrounding the soldier. They did not fire, but they gripped his arms and pulled him from the wreckage. The child cried out, reaching for him. But the soldier kept his gaze firm, never breaking away from the mother's burning eyes. "Take him to the city," she ordered. "He will not die here. Not yet." The warriors dragged him away through the smoke, their boots heavy against the ruined earth. The child struggled in its mother's arms, crying out for the human. The mother held her child close, her jaw tightened, her eyes glowing like fire in the dark. She had claimed the human. He would answer her questions, he would face her judgment, but deep inside a dangerous thought whispered again. Perhaps this human was not like the others. Perhaps this human could change everything. The journey through the alien forest was long and tense. The human soldier stumbled as the warriors dragged him forward, but his steps never fully broke. His eyes kept searching the shadows, his ears caught every sound. Behind him, the child cried until its voice grew small, carried in the arms of its mother. The alien city rose like a dream of stone and light. Tall spires twisted toward the sky. Glowing veins of energy ran through their walls. The gates were guarded by soldiers in armor brighter than silver. The human had seen cities before, but never one like this. It was alive, humming with strange power. He was thrown to his knees before a hall of dark crystal. The ground beneath him pulsed faintly, as if it carried the heartbeat of the city itself. The alien warriors stood around him like statues, their golden eyes sharp and unyielding. The mother entered last. She walked with her child held close, her presence forcing silence across the chamber. The soldiers bowed their heads, but their eyes never left the human. She stopped only a few steps from him. Her voice carried through the air. "You stand in the heart of our home, human. Speak carefully. Every word you say will be your weight." The soldier raised his head. His face was cut and bruised, yet his gaze was steady. "I did not come to harm your child. I saved him." Murmurs broke among the soldiers. Their voices were sharp, filled with anger. One stepped forward. "Lies! He hides his blade until we sleep." Another spat the words. "He is a spy. Kill him before he poisons more of us." The mother raised her hand, silencing them. Her eyes locked on the soldier again. "Why would you save him? Why risk your life for the blood of your enemy?" The soldier's breath was heavy, but his words were simple. "Because he was helpless. Because he was innocent. Because I could not walk away." The hall grew still. The aliens shifted, uneasy. They had fought humans in countless battles, had seen their rage, their machines, their hunger for conquest. But this was not hunger. This was not rage. This was something else. The child wriggled in the mother's arms and reached again toward the soldier. The small voice broke through the tension. "Protector, The word echoed like thunder. The alien warriors froze. The mother's heart struck hard inside her chest. The human soldier lowered his eyes, humbled by the name, but he did not deny it. The mother carried the child away to a higher seat, her mind burning with questions. She sat in silence for a long time, watching the man kneeling below her. She had lived through war after war. She had lost soldiers, family, friends. Humans had brought only fire and sorrow to her people. And yet this one had broken the pattern with a single act. Her council gathered around. They whispered in her ears, each with their own poison. End him now before he spreads his lies. Show mercy, and he will use it to strike you later. No human can be trusted. But then came a different whisper from her own blood, from the child resting in her lap. He is not like them. He saved me. The mother's jaw tightened. She stood. The soldiers straightened, waiting for her word. He will not die, she declared. Her voice rang through the chamber. Not yet. Shock rippled across the hall. The council hissed in protest, but none dared rise against her. She was commander. Her word was law. The soldier was dragged away, not to an execution ground, but to a prison carved deep into the city walls. His cell was small, with cold stone, and a single narrow beam of light. Yet he did not despair. He sat in silence, his thoughts circling the same truth. He had saved a child, and now his life rested in the hands of that child's mother. Days passed. The mother came often, always with questions. She stood outside his cell, her golden eyes burning. What do humans want from this war? Why do you fight us? What drives you to shield instead of strike? The soldier's answers were always steady, always simple. We fight because we fear you will take from us. But I saved your child because fear does not erase what is right. She studied him, tested him, searched for cracks in his words. But each time she left more troubled than before. Her people saw humans as monsters, yet here stood one who looked more like a mirror than a beast. The child came too, sneaking past. Guards pressing small hands through the bars to grasp the soldier's fingers. The bond grew stronger with each visit. The guards muttered, unsettled, but none dared stop the commander's blood. Whispers began to spread across the city. Some called the soldier a liar, a trickster, weaving a web of false mercy. Others called him proof that humans were unpredictable, too dangerous to kill or ignore. But among the people, a quieter story began to take root. They spoke of a human who shielded an alien child with his own body. They spoke of courage that defied hate. The mother heard these whispers. She felt the weight of them. Her command was no longer enough to hold them back. Her choice to keep the human alive was becoming a storm that could break her people apart. She looked at the soldier one last time that day, her voice low but sharp. You have placed me between two worlds, human. My people demand your death. My child calls you protector. Tell me, why should I let you live? The soldier lifted his head, his face pale in the dim light, but his words burned with quiet fire. Because if you kill me, the war will go on as it always has. But if you let me live, something new may begin. The words struck her deeper than any blade. She turned away, but her heart carried their weight. For the first time in her command, the alien mother did not know if she was leading her people to safety or to change. The city of the aliens did not sleep. Its towers glowed in the night like veins of fire running through the earth. From every hall and chamber came whispers about the human. Some called him a danger, others called him a sign. None could forget the story of how he had shielded the child. Inside the council chamber, the air was thick with argument. Leaders stood in a circle, their robes marked with power, their voices sharp as blades. They spoke of the human as if he were poison. He is a spy, one hissed. He will open our gates to his kind. He is a symbol, another growled. His people will make him a hero. They will come for him, and they will bring fire with them. End him now before he spreads his lies, shouted a third. But when the mother entered the chamber, silence fell. Her presence pressed down on them like a storm. She carried her child at her side, and the child clung to her hand, eyes bright with stubborn light. She listened to their voices, but she did not bend. Her own words cut through them. You speak of fear. I speak of what I saw. This human did not strike. He did not flee. He bled to protect one of ours. The council erupted again. Some shouted that mercy was weakness. Others warned that compassion would tear their people apart. The mother raised her hand. Her eyes burned with golden fire. Enough. You speak of death, but you do not speak of truth. This man did what none of you have done. He saved my blood at the cost of his own life. Tell me, is that not honor? Is that not strength? The council fell quiet. Some lowered their eyes, unwilling to answer. Others clenched their fists in anger. Outside the chamber, the whispers grew louder. Soldiers at the gates muttered about the human's courage. Merchants in the markets argued if it was mercy or madness. Children spoke the word protector with awe. The city was shifting. The war was no longer the only story. In the prison, the soldier sat in silence. His wounds had healed slowly, patched with strange, alien medicine. He had no comfort, no allies, but he carried no fear. He knew the city around him was watching, waiting. His life had become a flame in the dark, one that could either guide or burn. The child visited again, slipping past the guards with a laugh that could not be stopped. Small fingers pushed through the bars, gripping his hand. The soldier smiled faintly, though his face carried weariness. You should not be here, he whispered. You are not alone, the child replied. The words struck him harder than the bars. For in the heart of the enemy's city, surrounded by walls and warriors, he realized he was not forgotten. But danger grew thicker each day. One night a group of warriors came to the cell. Their armor glimmered in the dim light, and their weapons hummed with deadly power. Their leader's voice was low and cold. The council grows impatient. Many want your head. The mother may protect you now, but even her word will not last forever. The soldier did not flinch. He met their golden eyes with steady calm. Then kill me now if that is your choice. The warriors hesitated. None moved. None struck. At last, their leader spat to the ground and turned away. You are either fool or flame. I do not know which is worse. When they left, silence returned, but the weight of their warning lingered. The mother came the next day. She stood at the bars, her child pressed close to her side. Her eyes searched his face, heavy with conflict. They demand your death, she said. Her voice was steady, but inside it trembled. They say you are a threat. They say you will bring ruin. The soldier looked at her, his voice quiet but strong. And what do you say? Her jaw tightened. For a moment she could not answer. Then her words came, sharp but honest. I do not know. My pride tells me to kill you. My duty tells me to protect my people. But when I look at you, I see something that does not fit into war. The child tugged her hand. He saved me, Mother. He is not enemy. Her eyes softened for the briefest moment. She looked back at the soldier, her voice almost a whisper. You are changing my city. You are changing me. And I do not know if I should thank you or fear you. The council grew restless. Some began to plan behind her back, whispering of assassins in the dark, whispers of ending the human before his presence broke them apart. She knew the danger was real. Every hour the storm built higher, but she also knew something deeper. Killing him would not end the whispers. Killing him would not erase the truth of what he had done. That night, she stood at her high window, the city lights burning below her. Her child slept in peace for the first time since the war began. And in the shadows of her heart, a dangerous thought bloomed. Perhaps this human was not a threat to be erased. Perhaps he was a key to something greater. But if she chose him, if she defied the council, then the war outside would not be the only battle she would fight. The next dawn would decide everything. The alien city awoke under a blood-red dawn. The towers glowed with firelight, and the air carried a sharp tension that even the youngest could feel. Soldiers lined the streets, merchants kept their voices low, and every whisper circled the same truth. The council had lost patience. The human's fate would be decided today. The soldier was dragged from his cell. His arms were chained, but his steps were steady. His eyes did not lower as the warriors escorted him through the glowing streets. People lined the paths to see him. Some shouted curses, calling him liar and spy. Others stayed silent, their gazes uncertain. And some, in hushed tones, spoke the word that had spread through the city like fire: protector. The great hall was filled. The council stood tall in their robes, the air around them heavy with power. At the center stood the alien mother, her child by her side. Her face was unreadable, her eyes sharp as ever, but inside her chest a storm raged. She had fought battles on 100 fields, had faced death without fear, but today she felt the weight of something far greater. The leader of the council raised his voice. This human has lived too long. He is a danger to us all. His people will come for him, and they will bring war to our gates. End him now, and show the galaxy that we cannot be fooled. The crowd roared in agreement. Blades struck against armor. Voices thundered through the hall. But then the mother stepped forward, her presence cutting through the noise. Her golden eyes swept across the chamber. She lifted her child into her arms, then turned to face the soldier. He stood in chains, his body bruised, yet his gaze held no fear. Only quiet resolve. "Speak," she commanded. Her voice was sharp, yet it was something deeper. "Tell us why your life should not end here." The hall grew silent. All eyes turned to him. The soldier lifted his head. His voice was low but steady. "I do not ask for mercy. I do not ask for freedom. I ask you only to remember what I did. I shielded a child not because of war, not because of duty, but because it was right. You may kill me here, but that truth will not die." The words spread like fire through the hall. Some sneered, some looked shaken, and others whispered among themselves. The child, unable to hold back, cried out in a voice that pierced every ear. "Protector!" The sound broke the silence. The council shouted in anger, calling the child blinded, weak. But the mother's eyes burned with a light none could challenge. She raised her hand and the voices fell quiet. Her voice thundered through the chamber. "Enough! You call him danger, yet you fear his truth. You call him weak, yet he stands stronger than you in chains. You call him enemy, yet he carried my blood from fire when he could have walked away." She stepped closer to the soldier, her child clinging tightly to her shoulder. Her words struck the hall like blades. "This human does not die today. He is claimed. By me. By my clan. He will stand under my protection, and he will not be touched." Gasps filled the chamber. Some shouted in fury, others in shock. The council erupted, their voices clashing like thunder, but none dared strike against her. She was commander. She was mother. Her claim was law. The soldier stood frozen. He had expected death, perhaps pain, but not this. He searched her eyes, looking for mockery, but found only fire and certainty. "You would make me yours?" he asked softly. Her voice lowered, sharp but steady. You saved my child. By our law that binds you to me. You will walk with us, live with us, fight with us. You belong to my clan now. The words carried weight heavier than chains. The soldier's heart tightened. To stay meant to leave his people behind, to become a part of those he had once fought. To leave meant betraying the trust of the child who called him protector. The hall waited. The city waited. His choice was now the turning point. Slowly, the soldier looked at the child. The small eyes shone with hope. The hands reached for him as if afraid he would vanish. His gaze shifted to the mother, her stance unyielding, her claim burning like fire. Then he thought of his people, his brothers, his home, the endless war. Silence stretched until the air itself seemed to hold its breath. At last he spoke. His voice was quiet, but every word struck like thunder. I did not ask for this. I did not expect this. But if my choice is between leaving an innocent behind or standing where I am needed, then I choose to stay. The hall erupted in chaos. Some cursed his name, some cheered. The council raged, but the mother raised her hand, silencing them once more. Her golden eyes glowed as she declared, "Then it is decided. The human is no longer prisoner. He is shield of my child, shield of my clan. Any who strike him, strike me." The crowd trembled with her words. The war outside the walls still burned, but inside this hall a different fire had been born. One human, one mother, one child, bound together by a single act of defiance. The soldier stood tall as his chains were broken. The child ran into his, arms holding him tight. The mother's gaze lingered on him, filled with both danger and something unspoken. The war was not over. The galaxy was not safe. But from this moment forward, nothing would be the same. The protector had been claimed,